Hi, everybody. This is Jim West with Carolina Varsity, and I wanted to go ahead and look at the games that are going to be played on week one. That's the Friday, August 18th, or when most of the games are played. There's going to be a couple on August 17th, and a couple they're going to be on, I think maybe three or four is going to be on Saturday, August 19th. And I picked out the 25 games that if I had a choice, any place I could be in the state, these would be the games I'd be wanting to attend. The first one will be Burns at Alexander Central. I do think Alexander Central will be better this coming season. I don't know how good Burns it will be. To be honest with you, I think this game is going to be pretty even. I could go either way. I'd probably lean towards Burns just a little bit. However, the home cooking always might come into play, and that's where anywhere you go in the state. The second game would be Southeast Guilford, a 3A team. That I believe I had about 19th or 20th in the 3A poll or 3A ranking, and High Point Andrews. At High Point Andrews, and High Point Andrews I had right at 25th in the 2A. I think this will be a good matchup. I will give Southeast Guilford probably a touchdown to 10-point advantage. I'm really curious about both teams, and that's the reason why I would want to attend this game. Might get a better gauge about whether I've overranked or underranked either one of these squads. The third game would be Franklin at Asheville. I have Franklin ranked around 11th or 12th in the 2A rankings, and Asheville, I think I have them just in the very bottom part of the 3A. And to be honest with you, I think this game is going to be a toss-up. I might give Asheville just the slightest of advantage. Again, I think it's more about home field advantage, but I also think Asheville might be just a tad better. And Franklin's one of these teams I think will be better as the season progresses. So I'll give Asheville the nod at this point. The next game would be I guess it's a holy war between Charlotte Christian and Charlotte Catholic. Christian beat Catholic last year, and I believe Catholic beat Christian by some score like 5-2 or 7-2 or 7-5 or something like that. Derek Miller can tell us that, but I know it was a very close score in 2015. Will take Catholic in this game. I think Catholic will be just as good as ever this coming season. They might have some question marks with their passing game, but still should be a good game. Next one is going to be Lincolnton at Stewart Kramer. I don't think Lincolnton is going to be as good as they were last year. Lincolnton's a 2A school, and Stewart Kramer to me is an up and rising 3A school. If I had to pick, I'd probably take Lincolnton by probably a touchdown over Kramer, but would not be surprised at all if Kramer would win this game. Next game would be South Point at Crest. South Point is in my top 5, I think 4th in the 2A, and Crest I believe I have them at 17 in the 3A. Right now it's kind of hard for me to pick one team or another. This game is played at Crest. I do think South Point has more experience. If this game was played at the end of the season, I probably would take Crest. Being that this game was taken at the beginning of the season, I'm gonna go with South Point. So we'll see. This game right now would be a really good game to go to. Next game will be Page at Davie County. Davie County and Page both had coaching changes in the last 6-8 months, and Page just got a new head coach. I think it was last week or the week before, and I think both teams have have some question marks. I'm going to go with Davie though. I think Davie looks a little bit better on paper. This game is at Davie County, and I'm going to go with Davie in this game. Next game is Irwin over in the mountains. They're hosting Mitchell. Mitchell is a small 1A team. I believe I have them in around 10th in my 1A poll. And Irwin's a 3A school. And Irwin can score a lot of points, and some of them say this might be a plug-and-play type of offense. And I'm not exactly sure. Their defense, Irwin's defense, has a lot of question marks to me. And in this game, it's really a pick 'em. I'll go with Mitchell. probably just because I like them a little bit better on defense. Next game is really not this. This is a sentimental favorite game for me. This would be East Columbus at Green Sea Floyd's. I'm good friends with both coaches at the coach at East Columbus, Coach Hughey, and Green Sea Floyd's coached by the legendary Donnie Kiefer. And both of these schools are small 1As. Green Sea Floyd's not even South Carolina; it's in South Carolina, so couldn't tell you much about them. And East Columbus is just they just trying to get enough warm bodies to play. Coach Huey's done a phenomenal job with what he's got at Gatorland. Next game it would be Northern Guilford at Grimsley, and both teams have struggled last year. And to me, I'd want to watch this game just to see if there's anything I'm missing at this point. I have Northern, I believe, at fourth in their conference. Grimsley is about fourth in their conference. I expect Northern to be a little bit better than last year's team. Grimsley, I don't know they're going to be as good as they were last year, and that just some concerns about both programs. But I think this would be a good game. Probably would go with Northern Guilford in this matchup. Next game would be Concord at Hickory Ridge. Hickory Ridge is a 4A school. Concord is a 3A school. Hickory Ridge, they have probably larger numbers. Concord is it's hard to outcoach Coach Paget over at Concord. In this game, I probably would go with Concord by just a little bit, but I think it's just because it's more at the beginning of the season. I think Coach Paget knows how to win these early season games probably a little bit better than most coaches would, just from experience. Next game would be Holly Springs at Hagerty, and I really don't know much about either one of these schools, how they're going to match up. I think Hagerty would win by a couple of touchdowns. I marked this for two reasons. One is I'm curious about Holly Springs, and the second thing is, hey, this is August. Love to go and check out the beach this time of year. You know, it's a free vacation. The next game is Harding at Huff, and this game I do have Huff favored, but I will say this: would not be surprised if Harding wins this game. Harding is much improved. Huff has a lot of question marks. Yes, they do have a lot of talent. Will that talent mature and be ready and disciplined enough by opening day to win this game? I'm gonna say yes at this point, but Harding, they're a good team. They really are a good team, and I'd take Huff maybe by about 4 or 5 points. Next game, West Forsyth at Lake Norman. I think West Forsyth would be favored to this game by maybe 12 to 15 points. I'm curious about Lake Norman. I just want to see how good they are. I do have them in the top 25. One of our posters said, that they're probably not a top 25 team, and I just want to see what they're looking at. I like this poster that said that, and I'd like to see it from my own eyes. So I'm looking forward to hearing a report about this game. Next game is Currituck at Manteo. You've had two teams that struggled. I like Coach Wheeler at Currituck a lot. He's a good fellow. Sport Sawyer left Washington during the off season and became the head coach of Manteo. And Sport, he has been to a state championship game. They took the Pam Pact against East Lincoln a few years back in the 2AA, and should be Manteo and Currituck should be a pretty good game. I'm giving this to Currituck. I think Currituck has a little bit more to prove than Manteo at this point. Next game, South Meck at Marvin Ridge. This is another one I want to gauge about how good both teams are. South Meck is a really good 4A squad. I think they're going to be up there in the top 20 this season. Marvin Ridge, I don't have them in the top 25 in the 3A, but I might need to put them in the 3A in the top 25. So want to see this game. Next game, this is a Thursday matchup, Pisgah at Murphy. And Pisgah is a really good 2A team. Murphy I have them ranked third in the 1As. This game right here is pretty much a pick 'em. This game could go either way. If you're in the mountains on Thursday, you might want to go check this game out. Next game is Eastern Guilford at Northeast Guilford. I want to see this game. Coach Bates is the new head coach at Northeast Guilford. Eastern Guilford is coached by Coach Robertson. Both guys are well respected in the Guilford community, and I think this is a good one. I'm going to give Eastern an edge, but Northeast Guilford is going to play very physical. They're a very physical team, and this is going to be a good one. Next game is going to be Conley at Northeastern, and I'm giving this game probably to Conley right now. I think Conley is just a little bit better, but I have been mistaken about Northeastern over the years. Sometimes I overrate them, sometimes I underrank them, and I might have them a little bit low right now. I've been told I've had Northeastern a little bit low in the 2As. I have them at 12. Want to see this game. If Northeastern wins this game, then yes, they're going up. If they lose by a respectable margin, then I'm probably about right. If they lose by a whopping margin, I'd have to reconsider where I should rank them. So, next game is Hunter Huss versus Robert Patton. Robert Patton will be hosting this game, and I have Patton at 14. I do think Patton is an up-and-coming program. Coach Eanes has done a good job there. I like the running game. It's going to be a really good game. Will Huss will they keep the momentum they had from last year? I don't know, but right now I'm going with Patton. And Patton's a 2A team, and Huss is now a 3A team. So take it for what it's worth. Huss may by all stretch and means and purposes win this game. The next game, this is going to be a personal favorite of mine, Southern Durham at AC Reynolds. I'm going with AC Reynolds in this game. I think it's going to be a really good game. I'm giving Reynolds probably 10, 12 point advantage in this. I like AC Reynolds in the mountains. The Rockets seem to do really well while hosting games against Flatlanders like Southern Durham. This should be a really good game. Both teams are really talented. Next game I have New Hanover at Rose. Want to see how good Rose is this year. They've both teams are going from 4A to 3A. I don't have Rose in the top 25. If they can beat New Hanover, I would reconsider and bid them in the top 25. I don't think they will. I think New Hanover will win this game. Next game, Mallard Creek at Scotland. This is on a Thursday night. Mallard Creek is number 1 in my 4A way too early rankings, and Scotland's at number 3. Would not be surprised at all if Mallard Creek wins. Would not be surprised at all if Scotland wins. Both teams are tremendously well coached, and they both have a lot of talent. Scotland may have just a little bit of an advantage at the beginning of the season. When I do the rankings, I usually look at potential, and a lot of times potential, can't really see potential until later in the season. So Scotland may be a favorite in this. I don't know. I really don't know. Looking down here, here's a mountain game. TC Robertson at Watauga. I'd probably go with TC Robertson just by maybe a couple of points. This is going to be a whale of a matchup. Both teams are in the top 25 in the 3As. Both teams have gone from 4A to 3A, and should be a really, really good game. Next game and the last game is Vance at Westmont. It's on the 19th. Actually, I think it's at a neutral site. Can't think of it, but Memorial Stadium. Right now, I'd give Vance probably a 10, 11 point, maybe 12 point advantage. Should be a really good game. So look forward to hearing your input, everybody, and if you think there's a game that I didn't list, please let me know. This is Jim West with Carolina Varsity, and thank you for listening.